What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Barb Scott here. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. The game is finally here. The season is coming to a close at the end of this day, man. Got a lot to talk about, man. But before we get into that, press the subscribe button right here on this YouTube channel. Click subscribe to my new channel. I'm gonna be updating a lot of stuff on here now in the off season. I mean, I've been updating a lot of stuff during the season, but really during the off season, going to be doing a lot of content from everywhere, like NFL content, NBA content, doing some footy content. Got a lot of stuff that's gonna be dropping soon, so look out for that. All the links to all of my social medias at Barbchair Scott, all in the description box. Below the Patreons in the description box as well. Get everything ahead of time, and also, yeah, man. You know, just listen if you want to listen to anything Barbershop Network podcast, all those links in the description box as well, man. But Super Bowls today, Super Bowl 60. Super Bowl 60, man. I'm trying to remember what was the first. I remember the first Super Bowl I watched was Packers Broncos in '97. So that was how many years ago was that? I'm trying to do my math. It's 29 years ago. Well, actually, no, that was it? Yeah, it was 29 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 29 years ago, the last one. So that was probably like Super Bowl 31, if my math corrects me. But anyway, man, this is the 60th Super Bowl. I really feel old about that. I've seen a bunch of these things. But I just got back in town for my second time covering Super Bowl week. Interesting experience, I would say. Shout out to anybody I did, run into or meet for the first time in San Francisco, man. It's always good to, run into you guys out there. So definitely appreciate y'all for watching all the content. I'm not gonna lie, I ain't really got no X's and O's talk about the actual game tonight between the Patriots and the Seahawks. I do have a winner and a pick, and I'll get to that at the end of this video. But I kind of more so want to talk about the week, the vibe, and this season as a whole, man. First of all, I gotta say this. I lived in Los Angeles for a decade, but I have never been to the Bay Area. So this is my first time being to the Bay Area. And I gotta say, San Francisco, very, very nice city from what I did get to see. Shout out to everybody who sent me all their restaurant and bar recommendations. Not gonna lie to y'all, didn't get a chance to check any of them out. Was super busy. The majority of my time was spent trying to travel from one side of the Bay Area to the other side of the Bay Area, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what I've actually saw of San Francisco, I thought it's a beautiful city. I thought it was unique, and I would love to go out there when it's not a work trip and actually get to explore a little bit more, man. I know I'm old because when I was pulling into San Francisco, I could hear the Full House theme song playing in my head, and my camera guy didn't know what the hell I was talking about because he's 22 and he remembers nothing about Full House. So I remember that. I could also Full House came into my head. Ant-Man came into my head as well, also because that movie set in San Francisco. But it was real nice out there. Here's my issue. What as nice as San Francisco is, logistically, the NFL should never host a Super Bowl in San Francisco again. I do air quotes on that because this was a mix of San Francisco and San Jose / Santa Clara. Now, the issue with this is San Jose and Santa Clara are 50 miles away from the city of San Francisco. I was staying in San Jose because I thought majority of events were going to be in San Jose because what? The stadium is out there. But I was mistaken. The only things that went on in San Jose, Santa Clara, which is basically the same shit, it's like cross street from each other. Opening night we went there. All of the player availabilities were there. They had a stadium walkthrough, which the RSVPs got closed the moment they sent the email out, which didn't make any sense to me. And there was a couple other things. Radio Row, all the media parties, all the other stuff was downtown San Francisco. So I don't feel like I was able to do as much as I would have liked to do because of the travel gap. And in good traffic, it takes you about an hour and 10 to get from Santa Clara or San Jose to downtown San Francisco. In shitty traffic during rush hour and later, that could take you almost 2 hours. I've even seen somebody from the LA Times. They was posting like, oh, we're leaving Roger Goodell's press conference trying to get to open the night, and it says an hour and 48 minutes. So it was ridiculous, man. And the one thing I loved about New Orleans last year, and by the way, if there was ever one designated city for the Super Bowl, and I would actually 100% be down with that, it should be New Orleans. Everything was close proximity. New Orleans has amazing weather. Not to say that it was bad weather in San Francisco, because it was actually pretty decent. But it felt like summer in New Orleans last year. It's close. It's a party city. It's just a good vibe. The hotels are better. The food is better. I just feel like if there's any city that should be the host for the Super Bowl every year, it's New Orleans. Next year is going to be in Los Angeles. The year after that, it's going to be in Atlanta, two of my favorite cities. Now, LA, I remember it was LA about 4 years ago, and it was still pretty spread out. But trying to get from downtown Los Angeles to Inglewood is a much shorter trip than trying to get from downtown San Francisco to Silicon Valley. Okay, it is night and day. So I am looking forward to it being in a different city. And like I said, this is no disrespect to San Francisco, Santa Clara, San Jose. I think these are all fine places. If I'm blaming anybody, I'm blaming the NFL, because logistically, I don't know who planned that, but they was tweaking. What they should have did was just have all the events in downtown San Francisco, because there was a lot of space down there. The convention center that they had stuff at was nice. And then the only thing that happens in Silicon Valley is the actual game. That's what it should have been. But these people get paid a lot more money than I do. I don't know what maybe there was rental fees and stuff like that. Regardless, even if there was, you're the NFL, okay? Like, you're the number one league in North America. What are we doing here? Okay, so but it was different than last year, because I really feel like the vibe was low this year. And not because of the city. I really feel like it was the game. Like, opening night, when you walk into the opening night, they had it at the San Jose Convention Center. Felt like I was walking into a high school dance. Like, it just looked weird. Last year, opening night was actually at the stadium at the Superdome. So I kind of don't know why they couldn't do it at Levi's. Like, I feel like that'd have been better to have it at the actual field. Maybe they didn't. I don't know what. Maybe they didn't want to put stuff on the field, but they did that last year, so that doesn't really make any sense. It wasn't a weather thing. It was pretty decent weather, especially if you're living in a cold climate. This was probably summer to you. Now, if I hadn't lived in California for a decade, I thought it was summer too. But I had my hoodie and my jacket on, because I know the temps drop in California at night. But I don't know. It just is weird. The lines to talk to the quarterback, Sam Darnold and Drake May, were manageable lines if you were trying to get like a quote or whatever. Last year, for Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, those lines were like, there was like nowhere to walk. You know what I'm saying? Last year in New Orleans, there were just so many people. You were elbow to elbow in the Superdome, which is much bigger than the convention center we was at. And it was elbow to elbow. There was so much room here. Like, there was not as many people. It just didn't have the same vibe as usual. Wasn't as many celebrities, wasn't as many NFL legends as years prior. So that was kind of weird to me. But overall, man, I thought it was a fun week. Was able to get some dope content. Shout out to everybody I spoke to. I did some real dope content with the Champions League. I don't know when they're gonna put it out. If they will put it out, but I do know I signed some things, so I do know that hopefully it'll be coming out. But I'll be posting some pictures and stuff of that tomorrow, so look out for that. But it was fun. It was cool. I think one of these events is, when you come to these events and you're doing independent media, it can be intimidating. It can be intimidating. Now, last year it was very intimidating. It was my first time. I didn't know what to expect. Your first time doing anything, you're just going by, your natural instinct and what you think you should do. I was way more planned this year, way more strategized. I knew what to expect, so that was better than last year. But overall, I thought the experience, just for the city, could have been a lot better. So I'm really interested to see what the game is going to be like and things like that. But yeah, man, the NFL is growing. It was announced that there will be 9 international games this season. That was 10 last year, so it'll be 9 this year. They're going to be re-upping another game in Madrid. They've actually linked, I think, a 9-year deal with the Santiago Bernabeu, where the legendary Real Madrid play at. So they're going to be doing games there every year. Now, I heard through the grapevine that there's a good chance that if you are a Bears fan, you should start saving for Madrid. Now, don't quote me on this. If it doesn't happen, don't come back saying Scott said, but I heard from the grapevine while out there this week, there's a great chance that the Bears are going to be the team that's going to be hosting the Spain game. And there's even more credence to this. The Bears have 9 home games next year. We all know when there's 9, one of those is usually the international game. And the Bears are the licensed home team in Spain as well. So we'll wait till the actual announcement drops. But from everything I've been hearing, the Bears will be playing at the legendary Santiago Bernabeu, home of Real Madrid, this fall. That will be fun, and I will be looking forward to go there if that does come to fruition. Man, let's talk about the actual. Let's talk about the awards real quick. The NFL honors. So Matthew Stafford is the NFL MVP. He won by 1 vote over Drake May because Drake May, the person who could have gave Drake May the vote, decided to vote for Justin Herbert. Very funny. It kind of reminds me of the year when LeBron could have been unanimous MVP. I think it was like 2013, and somebody voted for Melo. Very hilarious. But that person actually revealed themselves on Twitter, which is ridiculously stupid. And like you're just asking for the NFL to cook you. I mean, for Twitter to cook you, and that's exactly what they did. They destroyed him. He tried to explain it. There's no explanation for giving Justin Herbert an MVP vote, none whatsoever. But honestly, I'm fine with it. I think Drake May had a good season, but it wasn't to the level of Matthew Stafford. And I kind of feel like I feel like if you're a young player, unless you were just like Mahomes his first full year as a starter type of level, you shouldn't win MVP. So I don't really have an issue with Stafford being MVP, and Stafford announced on stage with his daughters that he'll be back next season. So that is good news for the Rams. The Rams fans, the Rams saved Matthew Stafford's broke ass life, like 100%. When he was in Detroit, my famous nickname for him, Stat Padford. That's all he was. In LA, he is completely revitalized his entire image. He's an MVP now. He's a Super Bowl champion. I think that he's a Hall of Famer now. I don't think he's going to be first ballot, but I think this MVP pretty much solidifies that, and he's going to come back to a good Los Angeles Rams team next year. Protector of the year. First of all, it's kind of crazy to me that offensive lineman just now got an award this year. Like, it should have been an award that was already in the different awards for the NFL honors. I mean, being an offensive lineman is probably, if not the most important job in sports, in football, top 3. But anyway, our own Joe Thuney of the Chicago Bears, he won Defender of the Year. By far, not by far, but Ryan Pohl's second best trade ever. First one was the one that landed DJ Moore and the number 1 pick that eventually became Caleb Williams. But Joe Thuney came in, and he came and took a very, not even struggling. Called the 2024 offensive Bears line struggling is disrespectful to actual struggling offensive line. It was the worst offensive line I've maybe seen as a Bears fan. He came in with that Super Bowl experience, with that leadership of being the top top offensive lineman for legends like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, winning all these Super Bowls. Came in, set the presence that the rest of the offensive line followed by, and cut Caleb's sacks by more than half. A lot of that got to do with Caleb too. I think Caleb did a great job with avoiding sacks this year as well. But Joe Thuney was on the front lines for that, along with Drew Dalman, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright, who became an All-Pro this year for the first time in his career, and Drew Dalman, who was also in the Pro Bowl with Joe Thuney. So shout out to Joe Thuney. The Bears won another award, Moment of the Year. Yeah, Packers fans, you cannot escape it. It was a DJ Moore catch in Week 16, which essentially sealed the NFC North for the Bears. DJ Moore was in attendance, and he won. He picked up the award, and he made it clear this entire week that he wants to be back. And I do believe there's a question mark in that. I don't know exactly what Ryan Poles is going to do, but I think it will be absolutely ludicrous. Anything outside of getting the first round pick for DJ, which I just don't think is realistically on the table for DJ Moore. He's almost 30. Anything short of that, I think will be ridiculously stupid for the Bears to get rid of him. You got a great wide receiver. Yes, does he have his faults? 100%. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Jamar Chase, and I'll get to Jamar in a minute. But he's a really good wide receiver, and I have not seen enough from Roman Dunze, and Luther, as great as he was last year, is still a rookie to be the let go of a guy who's as good as DJ Moore. Yeah, there was a mix-up on that final play of the playoff game, and we can argue about other things. Sometimes maybe it feels like DJ doesn't play every play, whatever. That's the guy you need on your team, and I hope the Bears keep him. So shout out to that. Trying to think. Myles Garrett, unanimous defensive player of the year. I mean, who's going to argue that? And it's obvious. Other tidbits came out of Radio Row this week. Jay Glazer pretty much announced that Max Crosby is done in Vegas, which anybody with a brain can pretty much see. Now, the question is, where will he go? I think the Bears need to be in those conversations. Now, there's a lot of rumors that Ryan Poles is not going to go big fish hunting. These reports have come from respectable people who I believe, so I'm not going to say they're liars or anything like that. I definitely believe that's what they're hearing, but I believe when I see it. I think I won't say it'd be malpractice. I think it would be not the smartest thing to try to just completely build this defense in the draft. I think you got to go and get you a big fish. The Super Bowl window is now. You were 15 yards away from making an NFC Championship game. So I hope that's not true, but that would remains to be seen. So Max Crosby be on the market. We're going to start getting news on that obviously within the next couple of weeks. The combine's at the end of the month, and we're about 5 weeks away from free agency. So all this stuff rapidly going to start to get there. Trying to think of anything else that happened this Super Bowl week before I get to the actual game. Not that I can think of, man. Not that I can think of. But I think it was kind of a mediocre, not mediocre, but mid-tier week for news. Even with the NBA too, because last year the Super Bowl, a lot of the talk was the Luka trade. Everybody was like, Giannis gonna get traded. I even asked Baron Davis about it, and Giannis did not get traded. Giannis funny for that video he posted too, but we'll talk about that later. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So Jamar Chase was on the Pat McAfee show, and he called Caleb Williams Caleb Daniels. He got him and Jaden mixed up. He's you're the quarterback of Bears. I don't know what his name is. Okay, a couple things for this. First of all, I love that Caleb retweeted that. I love that Caleb retweeted. There was something else that somebody said that was disrespectful. That he retweeted. I don't remember, but I love to see the Caleb season and everything. Jamar, I know you're trying to be cool, but I'm pretty sure you remember the quarterback who dropped 48 points on your head. In fact, I know you remember because I was there. And not only was I there, I remember seeing you in the hallway being distraught after Caleb scored that game-winning touchdown on you. So you remember who Caleb Williams is. Let's not be salty, okay? That was funny. And number two, mixing him and Jaden Daniels is funny because Jaden Daniels also dropped points on your head the year before that. So very funny to me. Mike Vrabel coach of the year. Now, look, I got to say this. I do not have a problem with Mike Vrabel winning coach of the year. He took the Patriots from a 4-win team to a Super Bowl appearance and maybe even a Super Bowl championship. We'll see what happens today. I just believe that Liam Cohen or Ben Johnson probably should have been coach of the year. Ben Johnson getting one vote is hilarious to me, and that just shows you that a lot of people don't like Ben, and that's hilarious. Let them keep hating. Ben Johnson inherited one of the biggest messes ever that I can remember. It could have went left so quickly. In fact, it started really badly, 0-2. I remember walking out of Ford Field, and I was like having deja vu, like, oh, shit. New coach, same story. And the way he turned this around to get this team to not only make the playoffs, which I don't think was a shocking thing about it, even though the Bears won a few teams to make the playoffs at the start of the season 0-2. I don't think it's that big of a shock that they made the playoffs. Winning the division was a shock. The way they did it was a shock. Beating the Green Bay Packers two times out of 3 matches in 6 weeks. That's incredible. Help make Caleb into the quarterback we all knew he could be. And just the year he's had, I'm not saying I think he should have won, but at the bare minimum, he should have had more than one vote. So I thought that was funny. Also, I have to give a shout out to Jordan Love. I know y'all shocked that I'm saying this, but this is why I'm gonna give a shout out to Jordan Love. Kay Adams asked him about the Bears rivalry on the Up and Adams show, and he said, "Oh man, shout out to the Bears. It's a real rivalry. They come with it." He gave the Bears credit, and he said that just makes me want to come back and try to beat them now. That's all I wanted to hear. Let's keep the rivalry going. It's better than what I've been hearing from these old players who are stuck in the past, like Clay Matthews and Aaron Rodgers. People don't even play for the team anymore, saying what we used to do. In the words of Tony Soprano, Remember when it's the lowest form of human communication. Okay, nobody cares what happened in the past. You're talking about right now. The way Romeo Dobbs was acting like a sucker. You know what I'm saying? The way that Christian Watson and Christian Watson's daddy and all of them were acting like some chumps over the Bears beating them. That's what I want to hear is fair play to them. They got us. We gonna get them next year. When they come to Lambeau, they better not think they're getting out here with a W. That's what I want to hear. This is a rivalry. We are the two teams that started this league. You know what I'm saying? As much as I hate the Packers, and there's nothing I hate more on this earth than the Green Bay Packers. There's a respect level there because we are the teams that started this thing. You know what I'm saying? We are the biggest rivalry in this game, in the NFL. And I'm happy that it's back. That's what I want to hear. So I got to give a shout out to Jordan Love for not talking like a sucker about what happened this year. That's what I want to hear. So I got to give him a shout out for that. The rest of y'all are suckers. And just like when I interviewed Prince Amukamara this week is Radio Row, and the interview is live on my YouTube. Check it out. As he said to y'all, Aaron can't save y'all anymore. Okay? It is what it is. You got to show up. We going to show up. And that's just how it is. So anyway, the game tonight. Super Bowl 60 live from Levi Stadium. This is a rematch of the Super Bowl 11 years ago. So that'll be Super Bowl 49 between the Patriots and Seahawks, one of the best Super Bowls. Of course, that's one where Pete Carroll refused to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch to the 1 yard line because he wanted Russell Wilson to have the glory. One of the dumbest decisions in Super Bowl history. One of the dumbest decisions, I believe, in sports history, not giving Marshawn Lynch the football. And Russell Wilson got picked off by Malcolm Butler at the 1 yard line. Tom Brady won his fourth Super Bowl. And people forget now because it's been so long. That was his first Super Bowl in a decade. But that was a great game, one of the best games I remember seeing. This game, I do not feel will be as good as that one. Obviously, the star power in this one is lacking. The storyline, don't really care for. Having said that, I do believe this will be a competitive game. I do believe that this will be a good game. Every time that these two teams have met in the last 10 years, it has been less than 5 points deciding this game. I do have the Seattle Seahawks. The thing about the New England Patriots, I think the New England Patriots are good. Obviously, you have to, when you make it to the Super Bowl, you can't be a bad team making a Super Bowl. I do not think they're as good as people make them out to be. I do not believe Drake May is as good as people make them out to be. Everybody wanted to point at the Bears schedule, who the Bears play. Who did the New England Patriots play? And we can even say that in the playoffs. They did the Broncos did not have Bo Nix. Okay, so I do believe that Drake is a solid QB. I don't think he's as great as some people make him, but I do believe if you're a Patriots fan that you do have your quarterback for the next decade. I think at the absolute worst, to just be a really good quarterback, and you can win with a really good quarterback. I think this defense is opportunistic. The pass rush is very non-existent a lot of times. In fact, they have the same amount of sacks as the Bears do, so you know how that feels. I just feel Seattle is just a more well-oiled machine. I believe that if it comes down to a close game, I think both can get it done, Drake and Sam. I don't think either one has the edge per se. I think Sam probably has a little bit more of an edge than Drake, maybe because he's played the game a little bit longer, but I don't even think that matters that much. I think the deciding factor is the Seattle's defense is just out of this world. It's great. I think they're gonna take the ball away. They're gonna make life hard for Drake May, and I believe the running game they have in Seattle was much better. Coaching wise, I think it kind of cancels them out. I think both coaches are really good. I think Raven might be a touch better, but I just think overall when it comes to it, this is gonna be a game that's gonna be won by the defense. And when it comes to whose defense is better, I'm gonna go with Seattle. So my final score, I'm gonna say, I think it's going to be settled by a field goal. I'm going to say 24-21 Seahawks. 24-21 Seahawks, and Seattle will be the Super Bowl champions. And as soon as that confetti is wiped off that Levi Stadium field, we can move on and talk about the next season because I don't really think there's going to be much to hang our head from this game overall, man. So that is all I've got to say. Shout out to everybody who has tuned in to everything I've done this NFL season. It has been a whirlwind from the minute that Ben Johnson signed, through OTAs, mini camp, the draft, long hot days at Hallis Hall for training camp, the entire 18-week season, 17-game season. So many high moments, some low moments, but it was fun. I can't wait till next season. I'm not going anywhere. Obviously, I'll be doing a lot of content with other sports, and of course keep me up to date with the Bears. But that's how I got in Super Bowl 60s. Y'all have a great night wherever you're gonna watch the game. I'm gonna be watching the game in the comfort of my own home because I am socially tapped out this week. Okay. So if you were going to a Super Bowl party and enjoy yourself, if you were driving back, if you were coming back home or going wherever you're going, make sure to get an Uber, bro. Get an Uber, have somebody pick you up. There's no room for drinking and driving. It's the stupidest thing you can do. No, I'm not being paid by Uber to say this. I'm just saying this because I care about y'all. Just make sure you're getting home safely and enjoy the Super Bowl. I always said for football fans, our final week was 2 weeks ago, Championship Sunday. That's the last one. This is really for the Super Bowl is really for the casuals and stuff like that. But it's all good. The biggest event in American sports. Um, and yeah, shout out to Bad Bunny, man. I can't name one Bad Bunny song. I don't even know what he's saying, but I appreciate Bad Bunny. I think Bad Bunny is a great performer. In the times I've seen him perform, I love how he makes other people feel, and I love that he makes racists very, very angry. And I love that he's doing his performance tonight in Spanish. I'm with it. Shout out to Benito, man. I can't wait to see that performance. I think the performances ever since Rock Nation has taken over have been A1. I think every year they've gone well. My favorite is probably Kendrick Lamar's last year. Obviously, I'm a Kendrick guy. I think the best of the Rock Nation era is Dre, Snoop, all the LA All Stars, the So Five, but Beyonce's done great. Shakira and J Lo had a girl, and Brianna, while pregnant, was incredible. Weekend has been great. I don't think there's been any weak Super Bowl performances since Rock Nation takeover. Everybody was asking who you think is the GOAT of performance. I think the GOAT halftime performance is the first halftime performance. Michael Joseph Jackson. You can't get better than that. The set list was well. I personally love Jam. I know a lot of Michael Jackson fans don't really like Jam. I like Jam. He did a medley of his other joints and close with Heal the World. I'm not really too fond on Heal the World. I really don't like Michael Jackson's Save the Environment songs, but whatever. But the performance as a whole, the spectacle was amazing. As somebody who's been to the Rose Bowl, and I remember I was standing in the middle of the Rose Bowl. I went to go see Jay-Z and Beyonce like 8 years ago now. And I was like, oh shit, Michael Jackson was right there. And just the way Mike stood on the stage and everybody just applauded for like 2 minutes straight. You can't get better than Mike, man. But anyway, I think that he's gonna do great. I'm looking forward to seeing all that, man. So that is all I've got for today. I will be back on Friday for I'm Not Gonna Hold You Live. Of course, we're gonna be doing that every Friday. And of course, we're just gonna be updating videos on here frequently, multiple times throughout the week. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. The button's right here. And if you want to see the links, everything's in the description box. I'll holler at y'all when I holler at y'all, man. I'm up out of here.